Yo, what up, Street Dogs? Eric Kim. Right, the Turbo Thought. So, the Turbo Thought is how to discover your soul in photography. Like, what does this mean? Why is this important? Etc. So, first and foremost, I don't really think about the soul in this new agey spiritual way. I see it as a very pragmatic thing. So for me, what is a soul? A soul is essentially a combination of your life experiences, your memories, you. So basically, the soul is your personality, the experiences that you remember who have shaped you, partly your genetics, partly your environment, etc. And now the question is, why is thinking about the soul so important in the context of photography? So the reason I think it's important is because everyone's trying to differentiate themselves, everyone's trying to make themselves unique, in art, creativity, photography, etc. And each and every single soul is unique. Every single human being is unique. Even if you try to copy somebody to the T, physiologically your genes are different. Epigenetics, the way that they're going to be expressed is going to be different. So don't worry so much about on being unique. You're already unique. I think the game is actually to better highlight your individuality and to express it and to do it fearlessly. So some pragmatic thoughts I have. First and foremost, I would say actually consistency is very bad, because the only reason why we strive towards consistency is because we think to ourselves that, if you do something that's consistent, then what that means is we could better market ourselves. So, we think about Daido Moriyama, we think like high gritty contrast, black and white. You think about Martin Parr, you think about bright, colorful photos, and you think Kanye West, you think crazy, right? So I think the big thing is that most people are pretty simple-minded, insofar much as people don't understand change, right? So, for example, I think the reason why people are so thrown off by Kanye West is that, he's going crazy or whatever, and then, he gets in the gospel. So this is the irony, is that people want consistency, but they also get bored with consistency. So essentially, you don't want to ask people what they want. Even Kanye has a line, is like, give people what they need, not necessarily what they want. And so in the context of photography, discovering your soul is a process, discovery and rediscovery. So for example, there's a quote from the philosopher Heraclitus, "You never step into the same river twice." Essentially what that means is the environment is always changing and you're always changing. And so, you might have discovered this, going back to your hometown, you kind of remember things the way they used to be. And then you kind of look at it, and sometimes we're delighted, but sometimes we're dismayed that, my favorite playground is no longer there, my favorite arcade is no longer there, etc. But I think this is a good thing, because to embrace change is all a part of the game. And so in photography, discovering your soul, it's knowing what you enjoy photographing in terms of your subject matter. What do you like to photograph, right? The aesthetics, you could shoot black and white, color, film, digital, raw, JPEG, you could choose the filter, whatever. Within film, you could shoot 35 millimeters. Digital, you could shoot digital medium format. Even within film, you could shoot portrait, tri-X, JCH, pan, neopan, etc. You could push, pull. You could shoot medium format. And I would say allow yourself to change and evolve. So for example, even, thinking about cars, right? People are all drawn into the old school manual transmission cars, but now we got the Model S Plaid, etc. And I think this is where Elon Musk is quite the genius, is that, I think even Elon Musk, when he sold PayPal, he actually bought a McLaren and stuff like that. It's always to think carte blanche and think first principles. So for example, trying not to think by analogy. So a lot of people romanticize a manual transmission car, but in 2022, should we have a manual transmission car? Like, should we even use gasoline? It seems that electric is definitely the most pragmatic. It makes the most sense in this. Like, you charge your phone, shouldn't you charge your car? You charge your, even with photography, right? Everyone's romanticizing film, but certainly better to charge your camera too. But anyways, so talking about discovering your soul in photography, I think also a good way to discover your soul in photography is to disconnect yourself from social media. So, delete Instagram, don't post your photos on Facebook. I mean, essentially, this is actually the biggest downside of social media, is that it equivalizes you. It tries to make you equal and standardized according to other people rather than something unique. It's Procrustean bed, where if you think about the bed of Procrustes, everyone's trying to fit you in the same chair and chop off your limbs to make you standardized and fit neatly. Like, if you're anti-standardized testing in school, you should also probably be anti-social media, because even on Instagram, you could only post a single photo or a gallery. Like, it's a very simple format. Whereas if you have your own website or blog, WordPress.org, you could customize it however you want. And so customization is very key. I even remember the early days of MySpace, where people could customize their pages with HTML. I think that was actually a very good thing. Facebook was very good because it got rid of a lot of the trolls and it added your real identity to your pages, but also came the downsides because there's no real strong way to customize. You can't really modify the HTML. I mean, there are some things you could change, but it's always still going to be within the template, and you want to break beyond the template. So don't template yourself if you want to truly express the fullest gamut of your soul. And yeah, in the context of photography, discovering your soul, it's a process of discovery and also rediscovery. I think allow yourself to change, even something that's great, just like, people, for some reason, they want to find the perfect lifestyle and then they want to keep it consistent forever. But certainly, like, let's say, for people who have kids, right? Your life pre-kids and after kids is going to be different, whether you like it or not. And the difference and the change is a good thing. So even every single day that I photograph Seneca, it's always different and interesting because, I mean, physiologically it's growing so quickly. And therefore, even if I make the same exact composition and photograph the same exact routine, it's always going to be different. Same thing if you shoot selfies of yourself, your face is going to change, evolve, get older, whatever. Even looking at myself, right now I'm, I'm 34 years old. Sometimes I forget, right? I'm like, certainly my 22-year-old self and my 34-year-old self, I look different. I have more wrinkles, more age spots, whatever. And, I kind of delight in it. I don't, certain things I'm actually pretty proud of. Like, before Sen was born, like a few months back, actually a year and a half ago, deadlifted 475. I'm stronger in my 30s than I was in my 20s. So yeah, not desiring to be your past self. And I also do think that sooner or later, eventually, like, for example, when it comes to aesthetics, right? I've experimented with color, black and white, film, digital medium format, etc. Ultimately, I'm still drawn to the digital Ricoh GR, the GR3X, and just shooting high contrast black and white, extra small JPEG. I'm always trying to simplify the process. And yeah, for me, black and white is still sublime. It's what I'm drawn to the most. At the end of the day, I think I'm still, in terms of aesthetics, I'm drawn towards like, wabi-sabi, minimalism, simplicity, black and white. I love calligraphy. I love abstract imagery. And so for me, what I'm trying to do in my photography is I'm trying to pioneer more deep black and white. Like, how deep can you take monochrome, and how can you evolve within that given creative constraint? And that's just what I've discovered over the last 10 years plus. So yeah, just kind of give yourself the time to change, to evolve. I think given enough time and introspection, you'll probably eventually start to focus on one thing and keep pioneering that.